Hello, Luna loves. You know what I don't get? Crucifixes. I'm just sipping on chamomile. Watching boys and girls and the sex appeal. Just kidding. It's a torture device. First of all, not even the crucifix, just the cross. It's a torture device. And yes, I understand. It's like you were supposed to feel sympathy for the fact that Jesus had nails driven through his hands and feet and a crown of thorns put on his head and that he was abused for all of our sakes. But he wasn't the only one. Thousands of criminals were executed by the way of the cross. It's not exclusive to Jesus. And Catholics specifically, but a lot of Christians wear this thing around their necks, not just the cross, but a crucifix with his bloody, ripped open corpse on their necks. No matter what you believe, if you're a Christian or not, this is the truth of fact, that what you are wearing around your neck is a dead man on a torture device. But no, pentagrams are evil, pentacles are evil, because media. Speaking of the media, do you know why crucifixes harm vampires? It's very obvious. It's because it's an image of God. It's an image of holiness, and vampires are pure evil. But did you know that's heresy? I don't believe in the Abrahamic faiths at all. I used to. We'll get into that later. But I do think that there is wisdom in all things, and I have read the Kabbalah. This Jewish wisdom says that any kind of image of God that you even try to comprehend is creating an idol, which is breaking the second commandment. So even trying to imagine God as an old, like, fatherly, gray-bearded man in the sky or whatever, that's heresy. Worshipping the image of Jesus is heresy. You need to be present in God's presence, but stop trying to picture him and put an image on him, because the reality is he is not a personal, separate entity. He's within everything. And I say he just because that's the common parlance. I don't actually believe he is male or female. I believe he can manifest as male or female, but that's getting off topic. The whole point is he is so much more than an image of a human. And when we try to put an image of a human on him, we're creating an idol. And that's what the Kabbalah says. Just wanted to put that out there. People seem to think wearing a graven image of God gives them brownie points in heaven. Like, oh, look at me. I'm telling everyone in the world that I'm a Christian. I'm showing it off. So I'm going to go to heaven because I'm proudly living the truth of Christ. And I'm like, no. You're showing off. You're boasting. You're being arrogant and prideful. That's a deadly sin. Even if I go along with the whole Christian narrative, which growing up I was a Christian, and guess what I didn't do when I was a Christian? Read the Bible. Guess what I did when I started doubting? Read the Bible. Guess what gem I found? This is so perfect. Matthew 6:5-6. When you pray, do not be like the hypocrites, for they love to pray standing in the synagogues and on the street corners to be seen by others. Truly I tell you, they have received their reward in full. But when you pray, go into your room, close the door, and pray to your Father who is unseen. Then your Father, who sees what is done in secret, will reward you. I want to point out the key there is who is unseen. Jesus is not saying here, imagine my face when you pray, or pray to me. He's saying to your Father who is unseen. We do not know what he looks like because he doesn't have an image. He is everything. The Father word is a metaphor, so we understand how he cares about us and how, as our creator, he wants what's best for us, etc. I do believe in a creator, a creative universal consciousness, whatever. So I still agree to some extent with some of the explanations that Jesus gives. He did exist. He was a very wise, peace-loving man who contradicts the angry, vindictive God of the Old Testament. Again, getting off topic. Explore that in another video, maybe. But the point is, We cannot see God. We shouldn't try to make an image of God. We shouldn't be boasting about our faith, I still say our, because I was a Christian for 20 years of my life. Well, 24 years of my life. I'm now 25. I've only been away from the faith for a year, so sometimes I'll still say stuff like that, even though I don't believe any of it. So, excuse me if that sometimes comes out. I don't actually believe in the Bible anymore, but sometimes that comes out anyway. We cannot see him. We shouldn't make images of him. We shouldn't wear images of him. We should just be with him. And that I agree with. Boasting and showing off your faith through what you wear is self-serving and makes you a hypocrite. You know, at least the empty cross I can kind of understand. I mean, it's still a torture device, but it's a symbol of the resurrection. It's a symbol of Christ defeating death and descending into hell and then ascending into heaven and saving us. The actual act of saving us after the fact that he died as a man. Rather than a symbol of penance, it's a symbol of hope. Okay, I'll give him that. It's still a torture device, though. The crucifix is a reminder that he suffered and died because we're terrible, horrible sinners. To remind yourself of that isn't humility, it's masochism and degradation. Wearers are in love with the fiction that they aren't good enough and that they deserve eternal torture, if not for their captors' self-mutilation. To see it from this point of view, I now realize how pathetic they are. Like, their whole lives are about, I'm horrible, I'm terrible, I'm a sinner, I don't deserve to even be alive, but thank you, Jesus, for saving me. It's just so sad. And then they turn around and are all prideful about their faith and try to convert other people and say, you know what, you're a horrible sinner, you need to believe in Jesus too so you can be saved and go to heaven. It's just like, why don't you just leave me alone? How is it any of your business where I end up? I just don't get how a mutilated corpse on a torture device is a good thing and a pentacle is evil because of unsubstantiated satanic association. First of all, and I'll get into this in another video, Satan isn't real. The good-evil dichotomy exists as one thing in God. If you don't believe that, you're a polytheist. I'm sorry, you are. You believe in a deity of good and a deity of evil. That's two. You're a polytheist. And then put in angels and saints. And you can say all you want about how it's different. No, really, you're just incorporating pagan beliefs and trying to say that you're a monotheist. Why? What's the point? Why would you do that? Why not just admit you're a polytheist? Whereas I am a true monotheist, God, the universal consciousness, is one source of everything, and yes, that includes evil, and yes, I have reconciled that. Uncomfortable sometimes, but it's true. Just like all of us have the capability of being good or evil, making good or bad choices. It's the same thing, and he's the source. And again, I say he because that's the common parlance for it, not because I actually believe that God is of the male persuasion. He can't be. He's not a human. He's not a creature. He can't be a gender. It's just easier to talk like that. Secondly, the pentacle is only evil because of its misuse in movies and TV and the media and devil worshippers that want to make Christians uncomfortable. Christian pastors and bloggers spread this misinformation to keep people scared and inside the barbed wire fence. Devil worshippers take this and invert the symbol, also from misinformation or just to freak out Christians. It's likely both, because they like to invert it because it looks like goat horns or, you know, thereby Satan's horns. So I will keep my pentacle and my triquetra and my Metatron's cube. Thank you very much. I will keep the symbols that remind me of my place in the universe and my relationship with the universal source. I will not wear a symbol that tells me that I deserve eternal torture if not for this one God-man that existed and died for me. And I will say one more thing. If someone came to the earth right now, or just appeared right now while you were alive and claimed that he was God incarnate and he was going to die for your sins, would you believe him? Or would you think you are crazy, you are a heretic, I am going to call the mental institution and put you away. I can guarantee you, you would do the latter. And when I say, when I'm directing this at any Christians that are watching that are going to probably say that I just don't understand, that I'm evil and that's why it makes me uncomfortable. I'm not evil. Trust me, every kind of magic that I do is to better my life or to better somebody else's life. I don't do evil. I don't do Goetia, which is like demon magic. I guess that's how you pronounce it. I don't touch that. I'm sure God can manifest as demons, but I don't touch it. I don't want to do it. It's not my thing. But if I came to you right now and said, I'm a virgin and I'm pregnant and I gave birth and this little baby is God incarnate, you would be like, you're lying. You were with a guy you weren't supposed to be with and you're lying to cover it up and you put me away. Or you try to like tell my husband that I did something, like I cheated on him. You would be just like the Pharisees. You would not actually believe. So why do you believe it? Because it's in a 2,000-year-old book. Anyway, all my Luna loves out there, that was just a little rant that crossed my mind while I was at work. I saw someone with a crucifix and I said, why though? And then all this spilled forth, so there we are. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and share if you think someone could benefit from hearing what I have to say. And I will see you in the next video. Good journey, loves. To me, wearing a crucifix would be just like wearing a guillotine with a disembodied head somehow designed. And that's just what you wear all the time as your jewelry. Or, to make it more personal, it'd be like me wearing an image of the exact gun that killed my father, with his blood splattered on it. And wearing that as my jewelry all the time to tell people, hey, look, my dad died, look, this is what I live for. It just doesn't make sense.